welcome to the deep dive. You've brought up this really interesting idea about, well, just squatting, the deep squat or cocras.
Yeah, it seems almost too simple, doesn't it?
Right, and you're looking for knowledge that gets straight to the point. So today, our mission is to unpack how this really basic posture might actually be a fast track to feeling mentally clearer, more aware.
Exactly. We're digging into the why, looking at science and traditional practices, too. It's surprising stuff.
Okay, so let's get off with something fundamental. Getting enough fuel to the brain. Apparently squatting helps with blood flow up there.
It does, yeah. It's kind of mechanical almost. When you're in that deep squat, well, your heart is physically closer to your head.
Oh, right. Less distance, less gravity to fight.
Precisely. And, using those big leg muscles, they sort of act like an extra pump. Helps get the blood moving all around.
Huh. And there's actual, research on this. I think I saw something about squat breaks.
Yes, exactly. There was a study, quite interesting actually. They had people take these short 1-minute half squat breaks every 20 minutes while they were sitting.
Just 1 minute?
Yeah, and it stopped that usual drop in blood flow to the brain you get from just sitting. It even increased it slightly compared to non-stop sitting.
Wow, okay. So these little squat moments are like hitting a refresh button for brain circulation.
Pretty much. And it wasn't just blood flow. Cognitively, they saw benefits too.
Like what?
Well, the participants who did the squats, they reacted faster on tests measuring, executive functions, things like focus, making decisions.
Okay.
And they also said they felt less mentally tired. So you connect the dots, better circulation, better oxygenation. It literally wakes up the brain, gives you that clearer, sharper feeling.
Right, less brain fog. Okay, circulation makes sense. But I also got the feeling it's about how your body feels in the position. Proprioception, was it?
Ah, yes, proprioception. It's basically your body's awareness of itself in space.
Like touching your nose with your eyes closed, that kind of thing.
Exactly that. And a deep squat, well, it really fires up those proprioceptors, your ankles, knees, hips, all those little muscles keeping you balanced. They're working hard, sending signals.
Yeah, you can definitely feel that subtle balancing act going on. So how does feeling your ankles connect to thinking clearly?
Well, all that intense feedback from your body, it sort of anchors your mind, pulls it into the present moment. It's very physical, very grounding.
Grounding.
Yeah. All that input, it can actually help regulate your nervous system, calm things down, while also increasing your overall body awareness.
So feeling your body stops your mind racing quite so much.
That seems to be part of it. And this heightened body awareness, it can sharpen your other senses too, improve concentration.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to techniques used in, say, occupational therapy for focus.
Right, by tuning into the physical sensation.
Exactly. You just become more aware, period.
Okay, that connects. Now, something else mentioned was spine posture. We all know slouching makes you sleepy. How does squatting fit in?
Well, think about balancing in a squat. There's no backrest, right?
Yeah.
So your body has to engage your core, the muscles along your spine, to stay upright. It naturally encourages this aligned posture.
Okay, and what are the payoffs of that better alignment?
It just helps everything flow better, nerve signals, fluids, and your breathing becomes easier, more open.
Which is the opposite of slumping in a chair where everything feels kind of compressed.
Totally. That slumped posture can restrict breathing, make you feel sluggish. Squatting is like an active posture reset. It actually strengthens those back muscles, the spinal stabilizers.
So it's not passive. You're actively supporting that good posture.
Precisely. It supports a healthy spine, less stress on the vertebrae. It's kind of similar to why meditators often focus on sitting upright for clarity and energy flow. But here, the posture itself actively engages the muscles to achieve it.
Interesting. Okay, let's switch gears slightly. Autonomic nervous system. Sounds technical, but feels important for this calm but alert feeling.
Yeah, it really is, Keith. Think of it as your body's background operating system. You've got the fight or flight, the sympathetic system.
The stress one.
Right. And the rest and digest, the parasympathetic. And your posture can actually nudge the balance between them.
Okay. So how does squatting nudge it towards rest and digest?
It's this cool cardiovascular thing that happens. When you squat down, you compress the blood vessels in your legs temporarily.
Right.
That pushes more blood back up towards your chest, increases pressure slightly near the heart. And your body has these sensors, baroreceptors.
Pressure sensors, yeah.
They detect that change and signal the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is like the main highway for the parasympathetic system.
Ah, okay. So the body reacts to the pressure change by telling itself to chill out.
Essentially, yes. Studies show the heart rate response during squatting is dominated by that vagal parasympathetic activity. So you get calmness, but without dropping the blood pressure to your brain. Remember, that often goes up.
You calm mind, but alert brain.
Yeah.
Kind of the ideal combo.
Exactly. Relaxed alertness. Plus, the position itself helps with breathing.
How so?
Your thighs gently compress your abdomen, which encourages deeper diaphragmatic breaths. Belly breathing.
Like in yoga, Malasana, the Garland pose, that's basically a squat, isn't it?
It is. And in yoga, it's known for exactly that, promoting deep breathing, mindfulness, relaxation. It's not just a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the brain chemistry. Even light activity like squatting can release endorphins, other feel-good neurotransmitters, helps reduce stress, boosts clarity.
Okay.
The evidence points towards squats helping with mental readiness, cutting through fatigue and fog, just bringing more balance overall.
This all makes a lot of physiological sense. But you also mentioned evolution. Why this might feel so, I don't know, right?
Yeah, thinking bigger picture, historically, we didn't evolve sitting in chairs like we do now.
Good point.
For vast stretches of human history, and still in many parts of the world, squatting, kneeling, those were the default resting postures.
You see it all the time in photos. People just chilling in a deep squat. Looks totally natural for them.
It is, and studies like of the Hadza people in Tanzania show they spend loads of inactive time squatting or kneeling. But here's the interesting bit. Those postures use more muscle activity than sitting.
More activity while resting. How does that work?
It's this idea of active rest. Your muscles are still engaged, maintaining some metabolic activity. It's thought this might help prevent some of the health issues linked to being totally sedentary, like in a chair.
So our bodies are kind of wired for that position, even when relaxing.
That's the theory. Evolutionarily, it makes sense. You conserve energy, but you're ready to spring up quickly if needed. Much faster than getting up from lying down.
Or grounded but ready.
Yeah, and some researchers even suggest that losing the squatting habit means losing this sort of fundamental postural grounding, this connection to the earth. Think about it. In many cultures, squatting is tied to resting, chatting, working close to the ground, even praying, activities needing awareness. Maybe we just have this built-in sense that squatting is safe, natural, and that promotes this balanced state, relaxed but ready.
That's a really cool perspective, the primal connection.
Yeah.
Now, how does this squatting for clarity idea compare to, say, regular seated or even standing meditation?
Right, good question. Seated meditation, the most common kind, offers great stability, lets you go deep, potentially, but...
So you can get sleepy, especially first thing in the morning.
Exactly. Hence the advice to sit upright, maybe get some fresh air. Now, standing meditation, less common, but definitely a thing, really builds body awareness and grounding because you're constantly making micro adjustments to balance.
Feels more active, I imagine.
It is harder to fully relax maybe, but promotes alertness, circulation, probably a bit more on the energized sympathetic side.
Okay. So where does squatting fit between those two?
Well, it seems to borrow from both in a way. Like standing, you get that stable base, that connection to the ground through your feet, low center of gravity. But like sitting, because your legs are bent, there's a degree of relative rest. It's not as constantly tense as standing might be for some. Many people can hold it for a bit without too much strain once they get used to it.
So grounded like standing, but a bit more relaxed like sitting.
Kind of, yeah. And crucially, it seems to trigger those physiological states we talked about, the parasympathetic calm, plus the good brain blood flow. That combination can bring on that clear, serene state quite quickly.
Faster than maybe just sitting and breathing for a while.
Potentially, yeah. The posture itself seems to nudge the body towards that balance. Some people find it a really effective morning reset for body and mind, maybe even more potent for quick awareness than a short sit.
Interesting. Like a physical hack to get into that zone.
Maybe. It doesn't replace traditional meditation, of course. They offer different depths and benefits. But squatting could be a great prep tool, getting you ready for deeper work in any posture.
Good point.
We should mention, though, that getting comfortable in a deep squat takes ankle and hip flexibility. It might feel awkward or tough at first for many people used to chairs.
Sure, that makes sense. Needs a bit of practice.
Definitely. But overall, the pattern suggests squatting often induces the state of tranquil alertness pretty rapidly, thanks to those evolutionary and physiological factors we've discussed. Seated and standing might require more mental effort, more training to reach a similar point.
Okay, so wrapping this up, it really sounds like this super simple movement, the squat, packs a surprising punch for mental clarity, for awareness.
It really does. We've touched on brain circulation, body awareness, that proprioception thing, spinal health, and balancing the nervous system.
Yeah, and it hits that sweet spot, doesn't it? Calm, but also activated. Different from just sitting, different from standing.
Exactly that unique balance. And considering our history as humans, it kind of makes sense why this posture might feel so, well, right, so restorative.
So maybe the next time you're feeling that midday slump or just need to clear your head, instead of reaching for more coffee.
Maybe try a few deep squats, see how it feels.
It's a great reminder, isn't it? Sometimes the most basic things offer the biggest benefits.
Absolutely. Maybe try weaving a little squatting into your day, morning, breaks from sitting, whatever works. It's simple, potent. And it leaves you wondering, doesn't it? What could consistently reconnecting with this natural posture do for our cognitive edge long term?